Hey, what's up, guys? It's Marvin from the Panthers podcast here.
It's Reese.
It's Colton.
It's Dane.
And it's Nathan again, unfortunately.
Nathan again.
Yep, unfortunately.
Did you hear how Kip's voice level just went like 5 octaves lower? It's like someone like grasped both of your balls and just
Pulls.
Who would do that?
held 'em.
Twists.
Like they went from your throat all the way down to like where your balls should be.
Okay.
What are like our intros are so weird.
Epic.
I
That's
mean,
what
it pretty
makes
much
epic,
shows
though.
us like who we are, though.
Dumbasses.
Yeah, we are dumb.
Yes.
We all dumb.
Yeah. Well, some of us more than others.
Okay.
Nathan.
ACT duo gang.
Yeah, so
you two both
Nathan-
got
Yo, I'm not
15.
trying to talk about that.
Nathan
don't-
I mean, you just talked about it.
So
Yeah,
did you.
Nathan and
Right.
Colton got very low on a test, and they don't want to talk about it, even though they just exposed themselves. So
That MATC ACT score.
I like
even
how-
MATC doesn't accept that.
Whoa.
Feels bad. He said, I
Dude,
can't go to college now.
The lowest minimum ACT score for the military is like 19. They can't even make it in that.
Oh.
Kip's not strong enough.
It's not like they'd
Sad
make
day.
it anyways.
I mean, yeah.
Well, rest in
Speaking of
peace.
that, guys, we boxed tonight. It was pretty funny.
Yeah,
I
I
think
beat
a lot
Nathan,
of
like
heads.
horribly. Like
You
I
hit me
went-
in the face.
I went 5-0.
Kip, you would hit me in the face like every time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shut up.
Guys,
Wait, Kip, I
Nathan
beat you.
Against Nathan, I'm 5-0.
Oh.
Nathan
Well,
was
of course.
Nathan's
kind of a
5-0.
monkey.
I crippled Nathan.
Dane and I were like the tanks.
And then Kip just swung like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, we
I
only
mean,
did
he
body
still
shots
beat you,
though.
so
Yeah,
Honestly, that's
as long
facts.
as I get the dub.
Mister, I've been boxing with my police officer stepmom for 4 months.
Okay.
Step-
Yeah, no, I mean,
Dating his mom. Anyway.
no, Dane like pinched a nerve or something, so he can't move his
yeah,
arm.
my ring finger and pinky can't move very well.
I'm just
I
petting
think you
Dane.
just like it was probably just like a Charlie horse, you know, like
no,
because your
I can-
forearm
yeah,
is like
I can
that's how
still
you stretch
feel
your
it.
fingers.
Maybe that's
Like it goes
Grunchies
through-
cutting off the circulation
so
to your
weird.
hand.
Yeah.
Dane
I
has a
can't-
scrunchie on his
I
hand.
can't take it off.
I'm just kidding. Dane, you should tell
Dane's
everyone
binded.
about your how you got your leg fucked up today.
Omega lol. Okay. So today at
Basically,
work,
I'm swole, and I rammed into Dane's leg hard.
yeah. So
he's a bitch.
so we were at work today in one of the theaters, and I was like, I came up with this brilliant idea. Hey Kip, you should like back the fuck up to the end of the theater and charge at me, and see how far back you can push me. And he did it. And first off, he only pushed me like a couple feet, which is kind of sad. But
Big push up.
he somehow ended up hitting his knee on the inside of my quad, and now I can barely walk, and I just crumble whenever I try to walk, and it's funny because I'm crippled.
It's funny because you're crippled.
I want to die.
It's funny seeing you limp around.
I was
That's really
crippled.
good.
I have crutches if you want them.
I have
Ooh.
crutches too.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
we've both been crippled.
Oh yeah, I was carrying your backpack, and then you switched up on me. That pissed me off.
What?
Who cares?
Remember?
Last
So
year.
at school, like I can't remember how you got crippled, but you were crippled, and like you're like, oh, I need someone to carry my backpack to my classes, and I want to do it because heck yeah, I love being late to class and have an excuse, and I like told my teacher I have a crippled friend, and he was like, dope. But like for some reason, third hour you're like, never mind, I don't need your help anymore. I'm using someone else, and I was big sad.
Friends be fake. Dude.
I think how I got crippled that time was I re-injured my already messed up ankle, and then I was just on crutches because I'm dumb and I didn't take the time off to heal.
Oh yeah,
Now
I
my
remember
ankle's
that.
messed up.
I made fun of you.
Yeah, I have never used crutches for longer than like a day. I'm
Dang,
supposed
maybe
to.
that's why you didn't heal properly.
Oh yeah, no, I don't care.
Probably.
I'm fine.
Your leg's probably like really messed up.
He-
No, my knees
I'm
are
just
really
kidding.
bad and my ankle's really bad.
Hit
Yeah.
me up.
Hit you up. Well, speaking of stories,
Oh, I have one.
Reese, you have stories.
Yeah, so I have one that happened today. It was pretty funny. So I went tux shopping because we have prom in a few weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and so I got my tux. It's pretty nice. Like we're buying it because it's more valuable to buy it than to rent it because I need it twice, and so I ordered it, and we had to order a vest from somewhere else, and so they called me when I was at home later just to like check up on what the order was. And I don't usually take unknown calls, so I was like, I'm not going to answer this. And my friend who was there, his name is Jake, he's like, oh, let me take it. So he picks up the phone, answers it, and says, what's hip-hop happening, Cardinals? And the guy's like, what? And then Jake yells, oh, what the fuck, it's a person. And then he hung up. Like, the dude clearly heard him, and he was just, like, so confused. A second later, the guy calls back. I'm like, hello? Like, nothing happened. He's like, what did you need to order today? I was like, the vest. And he's like, oh, yeah. Have a nice night. I'm, like, laughing, because, like, it was so stupid.
That's so
Because, like, I never answer the unknown calls. And the one time it's actually, like, someone that I need to answer, my friend picks it up and goes, what's hip-hop happening, Cardinals? Oh, my God. It was so stupid, but it was a bro moment.
Satirical, bro. Don't you have a second one? Is that a
A
thing?
second one? I don't know. I was
Did
throwing up 2 weekends ago.
Oh,
Dude.
That's pretty gangsta.
Yeah, I woke up. So, like, the night before, I slept probably half an hour. Because my stomach was hurting a lot. I shit probably 40 times that night. And then I woke up. I was shitting while waking up, you know? In my pants. No.
shitty while waking up.
Multitasking. And so throughout the morning I just felt horrible. Then I had to drive 2 hours, and I'm like, yo, I gotta take a shit. So we stopped, and I threw up at a gas station like an hour into the drive, and then I just like felt horrible. But in the end I was okay. I made some other people sick, but
Oh,
other than that,
It was all worth it.
it was horrible. Like, I ate fish the night before, so when I was throwing up, it was all greasy and like, no, like it was horrible. Like, oh. But I
greasy
mean,
throw up.
it didn't feel bad in my mouth, you know? You know, like when throw up feels bad in your mouth? Not that I enjoyed it.
I mean,
It just wasn't the worst.
I feel like throw up always feels bad in your mouth.
I
Just
mean,
feels
when
the
it's in
same.
it, but I meant like after. It didn't feel that bad.
Well, when you talked about like a car ride, it reminded me of today. Me, Colton, Dane, and Nathan went out to like go buy stuff from
Oh.
anywhere, and we were at Johnson Creek, which is like 20 minutes away from Madison, and we were there, and Colton ended up going the wrong direction. Like, they have like a whole ass map, and they went the wrong way.
I did.
So they were 5 minutes behind us, and then at Johnson Creek, Colton lost his credit card.
Oh.
So not only did he drive the wrong way, he lost his credit card in the midst. And whilst this is happening, Dane just put his foot in Colton's mouth. That's
Oh my
absolutely
God.
disgusting.
Maybe he shouldn't have put his foot. Wait,
Near.
my foot near his mouth.
Yeah,
Okay.
English works.
Shush, I'm tired.
Oh, today we also saw Us.
That was
I
pretty.
didn't see it,
That was
but-
pretty.
Pretty
That
dope.
was pretty
Us
gangsta.
is
I
a
only-
movie
I
from
only
Jordan
saw
Peele.
some of it, but it was
Spoilers.
alright.
Spoilers. Skip till. No, I'm just kidding. We're not gonna say any spoilers. But it was an okay movie.
Rating out of 10, what was it?
Like a
7.
7, yeah.
6.
What's 10? Like, what's the best movie?
10.
10.
Infinity War.
Okay. That's
Possibly
alright.
Endgame.
I'd probably say actually like probably Avengers.
Justice League.
Avengers
Obviously.
Infinity War? What?
Batman
Like
vs
the original
Superman.
Avengers.
Alright.
Man of
Infinity
Steel.
Warfare. Wait.
Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 3,
Iron Man
best
2.
movie ever.
Iron Man 3.
Thor
I don't-
Iron Man
Ragnarok.
1 was like weird.
Doctor Strange.
It was
Black
good.
Panther. John Wick.
But Fortnite.
Dumbo.
Battle
Yes.
Pass.
John
Dumbo.
Wick needs your help.
John Wick needs your help. Send me
Send me.
send me the 7-digit number on your credit card. And
And
then
some
3
ver-
numbers on the back.
1, 2,
And some explicit photos of your mother.
Whoa.
Kid.
First off, why do you have explicit photos of your mother? And secondly,
Wait a
what the
minute.
fuck? Okay.
Stop putting your foot
Goes
near my
into
mouth.
father's cloud storage.
Hold up.
Wow.
Can we not?
A lot of kids just said relatable.
What?
Hashtag relatable. Makes sense, of course.
All right, so earlier we were speaking about superheroes and also people who were, in superhero movies and like great castings. What do you guys think are like the greatest castings for like characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
I don't know. I like Iron Man. You know, Robert Downey Jr.
Chadwick Boseman.
Awesome.
Tom
Taylor
Holland. I think Tom Holland, like, he adds a nice role into Spider-Man.
I
Cause,
like
like,
Ant-Man.
Maguire, like, okay, he was there, and he, like, at some point, it's, like, cringy. Like, the older Spider-Man movies were a little bit more cringe.
Oh yeah.
Well, now
And
that I
then
look at it.
Andrew
Yeah.
Garfield, like, he was okay, but he's not, like, funny. He's, like, teenage funny. Tom Holland is, like,
Epic
up
gamer
there. You know,
Tom
him and
Holland's
Tony
hot.
Stark together, it's just really funny. Really
Honestly.
interesting.
Yeah, yeet.
And Boseman, he played Black Panther really well. I liked it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a very good actor.
I very much liked it. Speaking of Black Panther actors, the dude that played M'Baku
Oh, he was
also
in Us.
played the main character in
Yeah.
Us. He plays both roles really nicely.
He's got fatter.
From Wakandan boy to upscale black dude in horror movie.
He was
really
fatter in it?
interesting.
Who
He
got
was a
hit?
bit bigger.
So yeah, that happened.
Like, I recognize that, like, 5 seconds into the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, this is him. Ah, stop.
That is M'Baku. What about the worst ones?
I don't.
I think a lot of them are really good. I mean, Nathan said we were slightly talking about this, but I want to save it to the podcast. But Nathan said Wong from Doctor Strange, which I kind of disagree with.
Highly disagree.
He literally does fucking nothing.
Okay,
That's
but
a
that
lot of
doesn't mean he's a
characters.
bad actor.
But is he casted bad?
Now,
is
if we
the
think
question.
a bad actor that doesn't do anything, we can just say the Hulk.
Facts.
You're
True.
not wrong.
Because I hate the Hulk.
He-
I'm gonna be honest, he's like one of my least favorite Marvel superheroes.
He's probably
ever.
my least favorite.
Yes.
Like
same.
I don't enjoy any of his movies.
No, the
I
movies are
hate
bad.
it. The movies are terrible.
So like, yeah, it's like the movies that he's in are like bad. He doesn't really play a good role in them. It's just the same things over and over again with him.
Oh, I'm a
There's
scientist.
no story.
I get mad.
I'm going
I
sicko
break
mode.
things, and then girl likes me. Then government takes girl away from me, and I get madder. That's all of his movies every
now,
time.
I
But now
turn big green.
they're having conflict with each other, so now he can't turn into Hulk because Hulk doesn't want to come out anymore.
Good. So now he can get out of the series.
God
but
damn
so
it.
no, but see the thing
Facts.
that happens in the comics is they become like one, and like it's like Hulk's
Hulk
body
universe.
with like the brains.
A banner.
Yeah,
Interesting.
so they become one,
That's cool.
which might happen, but I
Can he
highly doubt it.
transform like back to his regular?
No, no, it becomes just Banner and Hulk like mixed together.
Oh
in one.
well, rip going into regular society when
Thanos'
you're
cousin.
16 foot tall and,
and a
built.
big green.
So
It's literally
Wow.
just Arnold Schwarzenegger.
basically,
Back in the day.
oh my God, Arnold
Even now.
Schwarzenegger. Arnold was like the worst governor in the world.
It's so funny that he was a governor.
How did he become the governor of California?
It's California.
He won a bodybuilding competition.
California is one of the worst
That's how they
states
do it.
in America.
They're
Let's
probably-
be honest.
In my opinion, it's probably the worst state. Like I could visit there; it'd be fun. But
Stable.
overall, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. The longest you can stay in California is 3 weeks. That's it. Stay any longer, and you can tell how much of a. No, even just going there, you can tell how much of a shithole it is. It's a terrible place.
Yeah, even when I went to San Francisco, and then I might be going to LA. Oh, that's confusing, but it was really depressing. Like, it was so gross. Such a gross atmosphere.
Yeah.
I just don't like all the stupid things that have happened with like the stuff that the people there push for.
Yeah.
Like they wanted to be their own country because Donald Trump was elected. Like what the hell?
I just hate white people.
You know Texas. Texas can become their own, like
Yeah.
entity. It's
Yeah.
really funny. Like I feel like everyone's thinking they might actually do it, like dead ass.
Maybe in the future, yeah.
That could be a thing, but I mean, no one gives a shit. Basically,
What does Texas offer us?
I mean, Texas has a good
I'm sure they have
economy.
stuff.
Texas Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse.
That's facts.
Those are only in Texas though.
Yes,
Sure, yeah.
Exotic
obviously.
Roadhouse is gonna turn into
They're only on one road.
What are we
fun
gonna
fact.
name it now?
exotic.
Dang.
American
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
Probably Yeah, have you heard like in Texas, like businesses are named Texas, but like nothing has the name America.
Just because it's Texas.
I mean, I don't
Literally.
really know any like place that's named America.
American Family
Oh, shit.
Insurance.
Bank of America.
Mall of America.
Yeah, but
America.
that's not business.
A lot of people
South
are so
America.
confused as to where the Mall of America is. The Mall of America is in Minnesota.
No, it's not. It's in Kentucky.
What?
You can leave.
Dude, there's only fried chicken in Kentucky, dummy.
Honestly, that's it. It's
Poopy
Black,
face.
black
Fried
people and
chicken
fried
state.
chicken.
Yeah, and then there's
Like,
heroin in Indiana.
Speaking of black people,
Oh
Oh,
god.
I
you
know-
go into the Cardi
okay,
B thing or
for
something.
I'm black first off, so don't get offended. You
By the
fucking
way.
triggered BSU. Okay, never mind. Okay, so black people.
Damn.
There's a problem with the black community in general.
There's a few.
I think the black community is one of the more racist communities in the world.
Whether or not they think they are.
Cause like, as a black person being around black people, I think like black people like say terrible stuff all the time. And I think it's really dumb.
But then they try to justify it with the fact that they're black.
Literally, I've heard black people talk shit about Trump, and like they're like, "Oh my God, Trump is a sexist and he should be impeached. Oh my God, he hate gays." And then a black person would be like, talking shit about gay people and retards. I was like, "Damn, you're a fucking hypocrite. Die."
Yeah.
But like, and then they always like, they call people out all the time. Like they'll call people racist or bigots. It's so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Not bigots, because black people don't know what bigots mean.
Yeah,
It's
that's
too big of a
too,
word.
Too complicated for
Yeah, anything
It's a hard
over
concept.
anything over 6 letters is a little bit too hard for them to comprehend.
That is 6 letters.
They got that one.
Rest in peace.
This is an interesting thing that I found out. Like, a lot of people say that Americans are super racist, but like I was like researching it because I was curious, and there's like a graph of the entire world by like racism, and America's like one of the least racist countries. Like, they asked questions like, would you mind having a neighbor of a different race, like stuff like that. And the most racist countries are in Africa and the Middle East.
And
Like,
Of course, that's because of their beliefs.
Yeah, like, and it's like everyone says that all these white people are racist, but like you look at it, all of the European and like Western nations are
Most
the
welcoming races.
are the most welcoming ones.
Literally.
We just like white people just don't care as much as everybody thinks they do.
Oh, that's so true.
Like,
Honestly.
like everybody's like, oh, white people are racist. No, they just don't care
So
about
weird.
your
Yeah.
opinion because it's irrelevant, and you're literally just like trying to make yourself feel better.
That's facts.
I think like a huge thing within black communities is
Louder.
obviously the music that they listen to. Like, you
Rap.
guys know me, I'm a huge fan of hip hop. There's a lot of things that you see, like in music and also in just the culture, which for the most part, there's this one teacher that we have. His name is Mr. Pietrowski. He talks about this quite a bit. How, like, the way that we like depict women, for example, within the black communities, making them seem more as objects, just having them just twerking in the background, for example, just doesn't really depict that as well as I think like we should. Like, we
Throw
say
that
like how
ass
you
in a
guys
circle.
what?
Sorry, continue.
It's kind of like how you guys said with Trump, like how like it's kind of hypocritical for like you guys, like the black community, to say one thing, and then for Trump to do another and say that's wrong. So I think it's just an example of that. You know?
I'd fuck Ivanka Trump too. What do you mean? Okay,
Anyway,
but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I 100% agree with that. Like, that's why I don't like rap music as much, because, you know, there's one thing when you're like talking about stuff that you've experienced, but if you rap about it in 17 out of your 20 songs, and it's the same thing about you doing the same drugs and having
Well.
sex with multiple women and killing people, well, we kind of have a problem there.
yeah. I
So
think-
there are rappers that'll be like, hey, let's not kill each other and stuff. And then you talk about killing somebody? Like, what? I don't understand that. I think black people are the biggest hypocrites on
I
earth.
don't know. I think like the biggest issue to me, like overall in the community, is like absent fathers. Like, it's
Correct.
insane. And if you, like, I was looking at it again, like from the 60s, like being like, you know, fathers in the home has decreased so much. Like since the 60s, that's the civil rights. Like they're just not there anymore. It's insane. Like 75% of kids in like New York that are black don't have fathers. It's like that's insane, and that affects a lot. You know, like as you grow up, it's horrible.
Indeed.
And then you wonder why all these kids are going to jail at like 14 and making stupid decisions.
Yeah, they have nobody to like teach them who's like from right to wrong, so they just do what they think is right.
And then that plays in like, okay, so your father left you, so now you think like, okay, since my father left me, what am I gonna do? Huh, I know a good idea. Why don't I sell drugs?
Join a gang.
Fucking rob people. Like, how does that make any sense? You're basically turning out to be like your father. I think the problem with black people is culture.
Yeah.
That's their biggest problem.
There's a big culture of like not taking responsibility for things and just not working hard for your stuff and then blaming other people.
There's this saying that people like to say, like, when it comes to black people talking, Ebonics. Ebonics, it should be its own language. Because black people have, like, their own, like... I didn't know about this till recently. Like, they have, like, their own slang words. Yeah. And you can tell that I'm not as black as I should be when I don't even know slang words. Like, people, like... I heard black people talk about how many times have you steamed something. And I was like, huh. Rice? You guys cook? You guys don't eat ramen noodles every... No, I'm just kidding. But, wait, you guys cook? And he was like, no, steaming means stealing a car. I'm like... Seriously? We're really talking about stealing a car in foods class right now? Dead ass? Like, what the fuck?
It would make sense if he actually meant, like, steaming, as in cooking.
Exactly.
You're like,
they
you're
looked
like
at me
making...
like I was stupid. We're in a foods class.
It's like, yeah, you're making some rice. He's like, you ever steamed before? You're like, yeah, I'm doing it right now. He's like, no, what do you mean?
And it's also like, okay, and, like, I also have a problem with people that, like, get high during school.
Oh my god, that's so stupid.
You are so dumb. Like, oh, I can't say it because I know they'll automatically know.
I've only done that.
Okay, but yeah, it's a really fucking dumb thing. And kids that like vape into the ceiling.
Oh my gosh.
Or kids who climb in the ceiling.
Oh yeah, I heard someone did that.
We walked into the bathroom and we saw two dudes fall from the ceiling.
All right. But like, so me and Marvin before class, we had to go to the bathroom because we were coming back from lunch, and the bathroom was out of soap, so we went over to another bathroom and got soap, and right when we walked in, these two kids come out of the ceiling, and like, and they're just like, hello?
They were dusty as shit. Like, they looked homeless. They were wearing all black outfits, and like, it was just, they were covered in white because all the dust from the ceiling. It was so dumb.
Did they fall through?
No, they didn't. I don't know how.
They climbed through.
Oh yeah, because like
back out.
Ariel was talking about that. One of my friends, she was saying how I was talking about the Breakfast Club. She's like, someone pulled a Breakfast Club the other day. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, people were climbing in the ceiling and fell down. I'm like, what? Because that happens in the Breakfast Club. The guy falls like 20 feet out of the ceiling. Dude. It was so funny. I was like, I don't believe you, but now that you guys say it, I guess it happened.
That's actually like really funny. So yeah, I think.
Want to talk about Cardi B?
Oh, Cardi fucking B, bro.
If you don't
Cardi
know,
needs to be in jail.
If you don't know what happened, she on Instagram Live a couple of years ago or something, it came out that she was talking about how, when she was a stripper, she'd drug men, like take them back to her house or something, drug them, and then rob them.
Like, this is different from when you say it in your song. Like, okay, I got murder on my mind or something like that. Oh no, kill two people or whatever. Like, okay, that's a rap lyric.
Whatever.
But you're dead ass talking to 15 people on Instagram Live about how you robbed and drugged someone. That's a confession of guilt, if you don't know, which can be tried in legal court, by the way.
It's like, and there's been no consequences either. No one's holding her accountable for it. It's like, if anyone else did this, their shows would be canceled. They wouldn't be allowed to tour anywhere. Like, her career should be over right now. That's not even an understatement.
Where's the whole Me Too movement for this one?
Facts.
Just because it's not some
Famous
fucking
guy.
25-year-old white girl that claims she was raped, you can't stand by some black guy that was drugged and robbed by some professional black woman. Like, it doesn't make any sense. The Me Too movement is like,
It's so exclusive about what it includes. If it only includes the ones that fit perfectly for its message.
exactly.
And even then,
And
its
sometimes they
message is-
fuck up. Like,
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Have you heard? There's a college football player. I forgot his name, but he was
Oh,
gonna be
yeah.
the number 1 draft
Oh,
pick.
I know who. He
And some woman said, "Hey, he raped me," and then bam, life ruined, in jail 2 years. This year he gets out of jail because she's like, "Yeah, by the way, guys, he didn't rape me."
I hate that. I hate that.
You waited 2 years to tell everyone that you didn't get raped by this guy?
What are your guys' thoughts on the whole like Brett Kavanaugh thing when it was happening?
All right, just like
This gets like really political,
Devil's
but it's also like
Triangle. Wow, he was holding a hand sign? I wonder why thousands of people think the OK sign is a fucking white power symbol.
supremacy. Yeah.
Like, how do you guys get trolled this badly? Brett Kavanaugh didn't do anything. There's if you have no evidence, please. So nowadays it's like it's guilty until proven innocent.
Oh, that pisses me off.
Instead of
Essentially, yeah.
innocent until proven guilty. Like, okay, if someone raped you, like, I believe, like, I've heard, like, people say this. Yeah, if someone's raped someone, castrate him publicly. Sure, do it. Cut off his balls. Why
Publicly?
not? I'm okay with that. But, like, seriously, if you're going to falsely accuse someone of rape, that's almost as bad as raping someone because you ruined their life.
Yeah, you should serve the time that they would if you. do
Maybe
that.
they were raped in jail. Like, what? Hello?
Like with the whole Kavanaugh thing, I think like maybe he did something, but there's not
Possible.
enough evidence to even like say that he did, and then everyone's like, oh, the system's just rigged for him or something. It's like no, it was 35 years ago. There's no like conclusive evidence. He could have done it. He could have not. But if he did it, it sucks, and like there wasn't evidence. But you need evidence to actually like win that case.
Literally, this is an old ass man. You're talking about what he did in college at a bar that
And-
was recorded that had nothing to. I just don't
Yeah.
understand the Me Too movement at all.
I just find it kind of weird how like they only came out when he was getting into a like high office position.
Like, why'd you wait?
Just
25
be-
years?
If
Literally.
they did it the night of, if it happened, the man probably would have been caught. But instead they wait 35 years, expect to get justice. No, if you had evidence, it's probably gone by now. Even then, like the records back then are gonna be hard to find and everything.
I slightly feel like they did it just because Trump appointed him.
Exactly. That's like
the reason. The Me Too movement is 100% against white males, like Johnny Depp.
oh yeah.
Everyone, just because Johnny Depp's wife said, "Oh yeah, he abuses me," this man was getting abused by his wife. Instead of him abusing her, he has pictures, videos, and everything. He was just trying to protect her, and he finally came out. And Disney hasn't done anything. They fired him because of one allegation. But as soon as he posts everything about how much he's getting abused, oh look, Disney comes nowhere. Zero. Doesn't apologize or anything. I don't even think they asked him for a story. They just fired him right there. This man's career... Johnny Depp is an amazing actor. Pirates of the Caribbean is fucking fire,
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. Good movie series. Even though they had 5, it's not like Transformers. I still liked it, except for the last one. That was kind of shit. But still, it was a really good one. And pirate movies usually suck. But
Are there any?
for some reason, Johnny Depp's was good because of his character.
What are their topics? What
Oh,
else?
yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Stop
So,
trying to
yeah.
put your foot in my mouth.
Disney did nothing, which I think the Me
Dane
Too,
keeps trying to
Me
put
Too
his
movement
foot.
sucks PP.
Dane trying to put his foot in Colton's
So,
mouth.
you want me to tell you the topics?
Sure.
Toppy whoopies?
What's one of them? Like,
One of
what do
them?
you want to talk about?
I don't know. What shall we talk about, everyone?
Ow.
Dane, do you have any strong opinions?
You know.
Do you have strong opinions?
Dane?
You hit my big
Dane.
Strong
ass.
opinions?
Dane?
Hello? Shalom?
Uh,
Shalom.
How
in my
about
home.
the LGBTQ culture,
Oh,
and then
Ooh,
we'll,
I got-
and then we'll drop down to something more chill, like
gun
Toxic.
control.
artist.
Oh.
Gun control.
More chill goes to gun control.
Honestly, like that's probably my favorite topic whenever we talk about that. Sometime.
Don't
Same.
I hate white people.
Yeah, white people.
Yeah, I hate white people too, as I'm white.
White people are.
Wait. So LGBTQRAT, ROTC, AARP, ABCD, whatever it is nowadays.
I'm a freaking zebra.
They just add letters each day.
God, I
Basically.
hate gays.
I know.
Ja.
I think
Whoa.
like
Homophobic.
I identify
Like-
as Ja.
I think that every movement should be based off of like facts and science. The gay movement is definitely the opposite of that. it sounds
zero
mean.
facts.
but, like,
Zeros.
No, it's
fucking-
like there's like in unlimited genders. It's like your like
Explain
genders
it.
are like how your
It's practical.
sex is like expressed in
Like,
a
you know what
society.
I don't think people
There's
know what
one
a
or
spectrum
two.
is. Like, okay, look at Charter. They don't have a fucking spectrum, bro. They have 200 megabits of fucking Wi-Fi, bro. That's all you have. You have two genders. Okay,
200.
the LGBTQ community is on par with the black community because they're hypocrites.
Facts. Biggest hypocrites, I swear.
100%.
That was a noise.
There was a creaky sound and we all
Yeah.
got afraid. Okay.
So, yeah, it's like they always want to be accepted as equal, but then they're like, oh, we need more rights. When it's like, there's no rights that they don't
Hey.
have. That
We all have the
Everyone else
same
has.
rights, by the way, guys.
You just act dumb.
yeah, it's like, and then if you criticize them, you're homophobic. But if
Literally.
they criticize you, they're woke or just like,
But
aware of it. It's like no, like it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Each movement should take criticism, no matter how good or bad it is.
That's an amendment.
like, I'm chilling
Amendment.
if someone wants to be like a guy, if they're a girl, like you can get the surgeries, whatever. But
100%.
but don't try to like change your gender or sexuality to a freaking hornet.
A
'Cause,
hornet.
Like, you're either a guy or a girl biologically. Like, scientifically, you're a guy or a girl. You either got a dick or a vagina.
You go to their
Like,
house and they take
one
you to
of
their
them.
nest.
Yeah. Unless you
hornet
legit
nest.
have a nest, you cannot be anything that's not a guy or a girl. What do you want, Kev?
So one thing that I kind of don't understand, this goes for both sides, why we even care, because like, there's a point where it's like, okay, we're just pissing each other off. There should just be a point where we just completely just drop it. There's
Just
no
get rid
point.
of genders.
I mean, I think like for me at least, it's like
Genderless aliens.
it's like
I think
keeping society
Oh, sorry.
like you're good, like it's just like keeping society based off of real life and not
Yeah.
just like conforming to what people want it to be, because like if you base society off of like what a minority of people think about who they are, you're not going to get anywhere scientifically. Like technology is not going to advance because you're living in a fake world that you just make up. Like that's what is important to me about it.
Yeah.
And I also think, like, people are like, yeah, let's live in this genderless society, or have, like, any genders, like, have anyone do whatever they want. But there should be genders. There's a reason why we have genders. Because males and females are
Reproduce.
different.
That's what Dan.
We need to.
Everyone's
if
like,
you're a hornet,
oh,
you're not
yeah,
reproducing. You feel me?
males and females are like, dude, they can do the same thing.
Like,
No, they can't. It's impossible.
We're
You
sexist.
can't ejaculate into
Females
your vagina.
can't be in male sports. Maybe there might be
Oh, I
one.
hate that.
Maybe there'll be like a few, maybe one or two. But females cannot make it. Have you ever seen a WNBA game?
You ever seen an NBA game then?
Yeah. Literally.
It's-
Compare the two.
And-
5'6"
or
compared
or
to 7'8".
even an even better comparison would be the martial arts, like
Oh,
for,
yeah.
like
Literally.
for boxing or wrestling, because biologically men are stronger than women. They're just built. Their structures are built more broad and a little bit stronger. So it's like if you put freaking Floyd Mayweather against,
Ronda Rousey.
Yeah,
Ronda Rousey.
she's gonna like get her ass
Get
kicked.
fucked.
Because even though she's a great fighter, Floyd is still
She's no
So-
a
man.
bit stronger.
So there's a story about that actually. This like transgender, guy to girl
the wrestling.
No, it was actually like MMA. They fought a girl in like women's MMA,
That's not fair.
and they fractured her skull.
Oh yeah, I heard about
Like
that.
holy shit! Like if that doesn't just show you the difference in like, oh my god, the guy wasn't even taking like, oh my god, the guy, I just said the guy, whatever, the
That's a guy.
biological male
It's
wasn't
Z.
even like you see the pictures of them fighting like side by side. The amount of muscle on the biological male was like twice the female. That's just not fair. That's not empowering women. That's bringing them down. 'Cause you're
Here's
just,
the facts. Males are taller than females.
Yeah, I'm
on
pretty
average.
short.
Males are bigger than females.
That's a fact.
On
You're
average.
still short.
Why do you think males have a higher death rate than females by 70%?
Because we're retarded.
Because males go into male jobs like construction
And die.
or the military, and females do more at home things. It's always been like this, and it always will. You can't change that. It's very hard to change that unless you're genetically modifying your baby, which is a fucking shit thing to do. But alas, we digress.
It's like that's also another huge thing that I hate about the LGBTA plus H movement, and like and also the feminist movement. They're breaking down like the systems of like society that got us to where we are. Which like, yes, obviously like women are allowed to work. They're allowed to do whatever the hell they want. But I do think that saying that gender roles aren't important in a society, but not that you should follow them like precisely, but I think that there's definitely positives to them. Whereas in our English course this year, all that we learned about was how bad they are, and it's like they serve a purpose. There's not biologically they're there for a reason to help us survive and advance.
Yeah, and like there's this thing going on where women are getting picked up to jobs that they weren't in, but they don't deserve to be in that job.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with colleges as well. There's these stereotypes going around like, okay, let's bring in more minorities. But these minorities aren't fit to be in that position more than other people. Like, if you compare an Asian person's score to a black person, if that Asian person has a higher ACT score, like a 35, and has all A's, okay, interesting, Harvard says. Then here's a black person, 32, all A's and a B or two. Oh yeah. How about we pick up the black person who's less fit to be here just because he's a minority? And let's leave the Asian. Less Asians and white people get picked up into colleges now because of their race. That's racism, isn't it? But we don't talk about it. But we like talking about how Serena Williams should be playing in male tennis ball. No. What? I'm not many people have seen it, but Serena Williams actually played against a male tennis player. He was ranked 200. 200 in the world for males. And guess what? Who won? The male tennis player. What a shocker, right? Huh?
Imagine
I
losing
wonder
to the
why.
200th.
I
person.
wonder why. Maybe because their muscles are built differently? Maybe because their brains are different? I don't know. I wonder. Let's implore that question, please.
I hope people don't call us sexist for this, because this is all like
It's facts.
Not gonna
like
lie,
a lot
I
of
don't
people
care
are
if
just
call us
ignorant
sexist.
about
It's
all of
100%
this.
facts.
And-
You can please look it up. Look up everything we've said, because I guarantee it's true. Look, male brain, female
Fake
brain.
news.
That's a thing. Males built differently from females. That's a thing.
Being either a guy or a girl, that's a thing.
Literally.
No, it's not.
Yo, shoot.
I don't even know what I have down there. These days
is that
I
a
could be.
carrot?
Whoa.
I'm a
These days I
rabbit.
am a donkey, you know.
Honestly, throwback to when we used to call ourselves Apache helicopters.
Oh my
I like
God.
to spill my oil on foreigners, you know, whatever it is.
Oil
I
on
like, I like to
foreigners.
blow up Asian countries.
Speaking about LGBTQ, the Chick-fil-A LGBTQ thing.
Oh, that's kind of funny. Like, I mean,
Good for them.
to me, this is something that my dad doesn't let me get Chick-fil-A because they're like really Christian and whatever it is.
Dumb.
And like to me, it's like if I want Chick-fil-A, I'm gonna go there for their food, not to support what they want.
Literally.
And even like, it's their religion. If someone doesn't support the LGBT movement because of their religion, go them. As long as they don't like do anything to act on it, like hurting people, you can be whatever you want and whatever you want. But I'm still gonna buy your food. I don't care if they're anti-LGBT. Like, you don't need to force these ideas on everyone. People like obviously they're deeply religious. If they want to stay true to their religion, they're not gonna do whatever you say. Like, I don't know, I think it's stupid.
So one thing that I kind of thought of, like, as I heard about this story, I don't get why you bring religion into a, like, business or company. That just divides and makes your, like, audience very small, especially in this case scenario. Supporting, you know, like, things that are anti-LGBTQ. Just, like, I don't know, just, like, the religion by itself kind of divides a lot of people, because there's a lot of people that are, for example, Arabic support the Islamic religion. Buddhists, they might not at all agree with that. So I think that just splits up their customer base.
Islam would definitely agree with that. They throw
Oh, yeah.
gay people off of
Of
buildings
course.
in Iraq.
Islam definitely.
Oh.
A lot of people are like, hey,
It's
yeah,
true.
Just use
Islam
the
doesn't-
GTA glitch.
Islam doesn't support radical beliefs. Take a look at the Quran, please.
We just get like super offensive right now. Just talk shit about Islam.
I mean, but
in a way,
we could talk
I could.
shit, but I 100% guarantee that it's factual. It's
Yeah.
Please take a look at the Quran. And unfortunately, to some of you Christians out there, the Bible also has stuff like that.
Except the only
So I'm
like
sorry.
the thing is, the reason why like Christians aren't fucking blowing people up and shouting Allahu Akbar all the time. One, that's not their language. Two, it's like
Weird.
it's like that was the Old Testament where all of the bad stuff was. They've updated their religion throughout, you know, the thousands of years it's been a thing. Islam hasn't changed at all. They still have the rules from like 1000 BC or whatever it was, whenever it was made. They still believe in that stuff, even though the world has changed obviously so much around them.
Islam's work the same and will work the same until something finally clicks.
They figured out how to make bombs though.
Whoa.
Top 10 bomb makers. No, this is an interesting question though. It kind of like feeds into that. Do you guys think, like, I definitely don't. Do you guys think that every culture is equal, or like each culture should be respected?
It should be respected,
definitely
but
don't
not
think so.
equal. I
Yeah.
feel like.
Like I said, like I don't respect Islamic
Like
culture. just
each
'cause
culture,
it's not
like
right.
any culture,
Yeah, any culture.
that's dangerous. I don't think any
Yeah.
culture should be respected.
Yeah.
There are terrible cultures out there. Have
Well,
you ever heard of
fucking cannibals.
Kazakhstan?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess.
They literally, their culture, the way they get married is by kidnapping a bride.
That's fucked.
And it happens today. Like, there's a documentary. There's a documentary. They followed someone that kidnapped a woman. And now he's her bride. It's fucking terrible. In the documentary, she was crying for 6 hours straight.
That's crazy.
And they have to wait until she says yes. So they kidnapped her for that long until she finally said, yes, I'll marry you.
Well, how do they make her say yes? Like, do they?
They just don't let her
She's
go.
kidnapped. What are they?
no, I
what
mean,
is
do
she
they
gonna
like
do?
kind of like torment her? or,
No,
like,
they just sit there.
And wait.
Man, that's a lot of
Literally.
patience.
That's horrible.
It's fucking terrible.
It's like, yes, we should respect some practices if they seem taboo, but like that, just disrespecting basic human rights. Those cultures that are behind, like I said, hundreds of thousands of years maybe, should not be respected. Like, nowadays in America, we all obviously know that slavery isn't right. It isn't moral. Women are equal to men. We all believe this. It's like, in these other cultures that don't believe it, I'm definitely not going to respect them as much, because it's just, they're so behind on everything.
Correct.
Actually, you want to know something interesting? That this could be a reason why terrorism is so rampant in like Pakistan. 70% of marriages in Pakistan are between first cousins. So if you think about it, that's hundreds of years of inbreeding. Hundreds of years.
That's kind of like Europe.
That like increases
Literally
your like
Alabama.
aggression and everything up. Like it fucks you up. Like think of all the characteristics of a terrorist, like aggressive, like not really like social, just kind of out there, needing something to belong to. Those are what inbreeding makes you feel for hundreds of years. Like
You're not.
And then in the UK, like 1/3 of Pakistani children are like stillbirths, like they aren't born because like effects of inbreeding. It's
Talking to you.
insane.
Speaking of the UK also had the same thing. Actually, just Europe in general. Most of the royals are inbreeded, like
yeah, that's
the
true.
current royals, except for Meghan Markle. But still, yeah, all of them are like inbreeded, and it's kind of fucking disgusting. But makes sense because the European Union's failing. Hashtag Brexit. But wait, Brexit. That's the topic I want to talk about, dude. Honestly, I think.
Do you guys support Brexit? Like, if you understand what it's about.
I understand. I mean, okay, I understand why you want to split, but like, hey, if you guys split up now, your economy is gonna fail. So maybe you shouldn't.
I mean, that's what Theresa May is like arguing for. She wants to do Brexit, but also keep some of the trade deals that they had before. Which, if she can do that, then like, I definitely think Brexit is good. I think the UK should leave because they've just kind of been taking all the shit that the EU is forcing on them. And I mean, I don't know, they have the right to leave. A lot of people are like, why would they leave? They're like a big player in it. It's like, if the system isn't treating them right, why would they stay?
Yeah, and people are saying, yeah, oh my god, the UK is so important to the EU, but like, do you know how much power the UK has? Not much. You know who has the most power? Germany.
In France.
Fucking Germany. They have the most seats in the EU, and guess what? They're not a good country. Economy's not very good. Democratic socialism.
Oof.
Not very smart to have such a country, Holocaust, leading the European Union. But
go back to 1945.
I mean, whatever. Out of any country, maybe it should be, I don't know, Switzerland, something a little bit better.
They're so
at
neutral.
Least.
They just don't make any decisions.
I mean, honestly.
What do you think, Switzerland? I don't know. We must remain neutral in Switzerland.
Oh, bring America into the EU. Maybe we'll get you guys straightened up.
America's Europe.
Europe is fucking failing, dude.
We'll just take over everything.
It's kind of scary.
Everything's now ours.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it was good that it happened, but the same policies that are being like instituted in the EU are what kind of, obviously I'm not saying it's good, are what kind of drove that man to do the New Zealand shooting. He felt like he was losing his country's like values and traditions, which, like, I mean, obviously it's horrible that he did that, but like some of the policies that they're pushing, which is like accepting all these immigrants that don't deserve to come in and are just raising crime rates and stuff, that's a big threat too. People are gonna be more divided in like what they think the country should look like. They're gonna lose their values as the countries. It's interesting.
Yeah, and like they're raising crime rates by bringing in these refugees, but they've already had some of the highest crime rates in the world, even higher than America. Everyone's like, oh yeah, America, dude, it has the number one deaths by shooting.
Look
But
at
like,
knives.
I wonder where most of those deaths by shooting are from. Maybe suicides by gun?
Oh yeah, that's so funny. People always bring up like statistics of like 30,000 people are dead, when in reality like 20,000 of them are suicides, and then another like 20% of those left over are like cops
Homicides.
shooting people.
It's not even cop shooting people.
And most of it
it's
is
gang violence. Yes.
Hey,
It's like 70% suicide, gang violence 15, 2%, whatever, accidents.
accidents is like less than 1%.
2% is mass shootings. That's it.
Less than 2%.
Like, mass shootings is not very rampant. If you look at mass shootings by population size, we're not that high, are we?
That's crazy. A lot of people are like afraid to go to school because like school shootings, but like the chances of it happening is so low in our school, like in any school. I mean,
maybe you should have a police license. Maybe you should have a good guy with a gun, like a police officer. But no, oh my god, we're so afraid of police. We don't want them. They have guns. okay, well, as soon as someone comes into a gun to your school, why don't you try and stop them with
And-
your lab book? How
and-
about that?
An interesting
Did
thing,
you
like
say your lab book?
Yes.
the people. This is kind of like just getting into guns, but like the people that push for more gun control, and like they want the police to have the guns, are also the people that say that the cops are all racist and out to get people. It's like you're literally disarming yourself if that's also what you believe.
Basically, and a part of our rights, like it's in the Second Amendment, the right to fight against tyrannism from the government.
That's what our country is built on. I don't know if people understand that, but
Literally. So if we're taking our guns away, and people are like, no, the U.S. government will never try to like stamp over us. Oh,
they have
really?
in the past, like Japanese internment, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Literally. Like,
You know.
America, yeah, we're a great country.
We're not perfect.
I'd say we're number one, without a doubt. Like, Russia,
Fuck
they
Russia.
kind of like, you know,
They
Putin
suppress
Putin
everyone.
kills.
Putin's a tyrant.
Putin has killed people that disagreed with him,
Mhm.
literally. But no one can do anything because of Russia. China, they have fucking internment camps
The
still.
Muslims and
They
stuff.
still
slaves.
have internment camps. They
That's insane.
torture Muslims. Literally.
I'd love to do that. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Literally tortures Muslims. But hey, we don't talk about that one, do we? But we love talking about America's pollution. Wow. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we had internment camps for the Japanese. Sure.
It's crazy how a lot of the news these days is like, what are the Kardashians doing this Sunday? When it's like you said, people are being like enslaved in China and tortured. It's like,
Yes.
We focus
why
on
are
the
we
wrong
not? Yeah,
things.
we focus on all of the irrelevant shit.
Wow.
It's
Justin
like,
Bieber just got married.
and that's what sucks about American like culture. I wish we were more like able to help people, but
Like, okay, I mean, sure, let's talk about the new plot for the Avengers movie, but how about we talk about ISIS going into an African country that's filled with military supplies from Russia?
But the Avengers
And
are
what
pretty
should we do about it? Instead of giving ISIS
this is so
thousands
political.
of missiles that
This whole
Russia
podcast.
put there. Fuck Russia.
It really is.
This is just the one.
We're just
not
gonna
the one.
title
This
it
is just the political.
Politics. Politics. Marvel politics.
What else are we? How long are
So,
we in, by the way? Like 50 minutes?
Unfortunately, on Nathan's thingy majobber, I can't check that.
Doesn't say.
Yeah, so we're gonna just keep on rolling with it and act
What
like
else should
we're
we
cool
talk
boys.
Like I feel like
we
we need
can-
a whole podcast for like guns,
We do.
because
Yeah.
I can go on and on and on
Honestly,
for hours
yeah.
about that. Then there's so much depth to it too.
How about, do you guys want to keep on going hard, or do you hard and then end off with something light, or go light right now and end off hard?
I say hard then light.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really three of us right now.
Yeah.
Me, Marvin, and Colton.
Nathan checked out at the beginning.
Nathan's asleep. Dane's
I'm like barely awake.
Honestly,
half awake.
You two have been like fucking dominating the argument so far. So
I don't know. Like
It's more so me and you and like half of me.
I woke up about 30 minutes ago, like mentally. I was always awake, but I just like zoned in when the podcast started. So
Okay, how about Antifa? That's quite interesting.
oof Tifa.
Oof, Tifa. Terrorist Tifa. People, I don't understand how people think Antifa's a good group.
Me.
Like, at first I was like, huh. For some reason, I liked the idea at first of like going around and like smashing shit. I thought that was interesting. But then like,
we all have that
dude,
side.
Antifa is fucking terrorists, guys.
Yeah.
Please, you can't worship fucking terrorists. They're American ISIS.
It's like, you know, this is like whatever feelings you have about him. You know, like the whole Ben Shapiro thing. He's a really Republican speaker, right? And Antifa always wants to shut him down because he's a fascist. But fascists shut down free speech. They're literally being fascist themselves. I don't like their movement is so stupid.
I'm sorry for interrupting, but like, what the fuck is Antifa?
They're like it's like Antifa kind of stands for like anti-fascist.
Yep.
They're a group that kind of like push to, well, they're anti-Trump and Pence. They think that he's a fascist and stuff like that. Like he's trying to control people and hurt them, and just like what fascists do. And then they'll protest things, like protesting, like I said, Ben Shapiro, who's a right-wing, speaker.
Mm-hmm.
They'll protest for him not to speak, which one, protesting in a fascist state, you can't do that. So like one, you're not in a fascist state. Two, it's like they're protesting to shut him down, which is fascist in itself. It's so stupid.
Yeah, and like, okay, America, it's in our amendment. We have the right to protest,
Yeah.
but you don't have the right to protest and like stop highways.
Oh yeah,
They've
they
done
do
that,
some violent
And
things
then they get
too.
mad when someone tries to run them over. Well, I wonder why. Maybe people need to go somewhere. Well, if there's a dying person in that car and you're gonna stop the fucking highway, are you kidding me?
An ambulance comes through, they all just get mowed down.
Literally, Antifa's so dumb. Like, there's stuff like okay, I'm okay with you guys protesting. Like maybe go to City Hall and like annoy some fucking politicians or something. Whatever. They can just sit in their office. But if you stop a highway, you're a piece of shit.
That's like public unrest or something. There's
That
something
is.
that's like illegal about that.
Fucking
Public disturbance.
Yeah.
It's even worse than that. Like there could be government vehicles on that highway. Anything could happen, and you're just sitting there stopping everyone from going to where they need to be.
I don't know if you guys have seen this, but like Antifa, they wear all black and like masks and stuff. And there's a funny video out there of this guy. He has a bat. This is during like one of their riots. He has a bat, and he's like, swinging it over his head at this guy. This guy's like 300 pounds, pure muscle. He swings it at this guy. The guy catches it in his hand, punches the guy in his face with his other hand, and the guy gets knocked out. It's such a funny video. He just instant karma. I don't know if the guy got arrested, but it's so funny. He catches the bat in one hand and swings at him, just destroys this guy in the. Oh my god, it's so funny. It's just kind of like, it's like the saying, like, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. It's so funny. Like,
Price is getting knocked out on video.
yep, it's so funny.
A lot of people like to pretend Antifa's peaceful.
Actually,
They're not. Just look up Antifa videos, please. You'll find them hurting people. It's terrible. All the time. Big oofers. I don't know what to say about a group like them. Like, you can't compare them to anyone else other than themselves.
Oh yeah, what? It might not be a bat. It might be something else.
So, that's the whole Antifa thing. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk.
Damn! Holy!
We're currently watching the video of the dude getting knocked out.
Yo!
Very
He
interesting.
died, bro.
He died.
It's so
Bro.
funny.
He did.
Okay, Marvin, you want me to play it for you?
I wanna-
I'm interested.
I
as
kind of
well.
want to have it linked in the description, just like.
Oof. Honestly, I don't
Keep
even.
watching.
I don't know what Antifa. Holy shit! That's
Just like watch, and then he pushes him down. The
Such-
man's knocked out. The guy pushes him down. Right after he knocks him out, just no shit's given.
honestly.
Yeah, we should link it in the video in the
Yeah.
description. It's so funny and it's so just badass.
Honestly.
Antifa likes to pretend like they're peaceful, but if you look up
And then-
Antifa videos, it's just fights.
That's the
all
one thing I
time.
don't get about protests is like, so Martin Luther King, he had a dream. He did it like peacefully. He made big change with that. Now, yes, the Black Panther Party was more so kind of like radical, trying to have change through violence.
Alt left.
It worked, but I think the long-term lasting impact of the civil rights movement, doing it peacefully, worked more just simply because it shows how civil you are in a, like, for example, hostile environment where, for example, there's police, and then, like, sometimes in some cases there's tear gas. Just going through that peacefully.
Yeah.
Yes, it can be very, very difficult, but it shows your maturity and also shows how, like, strong you are as a person, how strong you believe into, like, whatever it is you're doing.
It builds respect for a movement.
Yeah.
And then there's movements like Black Lives Matter. Like, people definitely, like, you can protest if something unjust is done, but then they go and destroy, like, Charlotte or wherever that one happened. They just destroy these towns. It's like, you're acting like just animals. It's like, if you want respect for a movement, you're not going to get it by insulting the people who are protecting your very right to protest and like
Exactly.
assaulting them. I
Like,
don't get it.
it's honestly the most confusing thing ever to me. Like, I don't understand it. peaceful protests work. Look throughout history. Peaceful protests work very, very well. Violent protests? Okay, if you're going to be violent, like, have some commitment. Overthrow the government. Please. Try it. Because I guarantee you're not going to get far.
Either be violent or don't be violent. That's what he's
Exactly.
saying.
You can't pussy out. Okay, like, if you see, like, they're, like, in Charlottesville, like, hey, let's protest. And then, let's punch some people. And then run away and say they're racist even though we punched first. Makes sense.
Cold pizza.
Cold pizza, best pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Oofy. Pizza.
Alright, what's a lighter topic?
Lighter topic. Cardi B. No, I'm just kidding.
Going back to
Top artist, all genres, or like, I think it was like top artist of 2019. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
Around there. I don't know, Colton. How about you start since this is your thing?
Gosh, I don't really know because like there hasn't been a lot of albums released in 2019, or at least 2019 albums that I'm for the most part interested in. I heard the Billie Eilish one like completely flopped from like what it was expected to be.
I've heard it's really good.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Nathan, you're retarded. But anyway, like I don't know. I really haven't heard much from like any big good albums. Like it's kind of been slow year so far.
For me, I think Lil Skies and Juice WRLD's albums are pretty good. It took a while to grow on me.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
But
that. Never mind.
they're definitely, in my eyes, really good, and I'll continue listening to them throughout the year. Like, they're not one of those albums you listen to once and you're just like, that was okay, I don't really want to listen to it anymore. You know, it'll stick with me and it'll stay in my playlist.
Yeah.
Hopefully 2019 will be a good year for music, and not so much as like 2018.
We should
Really?
we should banish Cardi B.
Oh,
Yes.
I agree.
We don't need no.
We
no
should
more
banish
Bodak.
a lot of artists.
Bodak Yellow, I think it was. Oh my gosh.
Cardi B.
Trying to see if there's new albums coming up.
We should get rid of. Who should we get rid of? Let's think. Who should we get rid of
I mean,
in the
okay,
music industry?
So at first I didn't like it, but the Jonas Brothers song "Sucker," I hated it at first just because it was overplayed, but it's okay.
I haven't heard it.
It's okay.
I'm trying to
Jonas
think.
Brothers
Lil
coming
Pump's
back.
new album, pretty good.
Yeah, I heard like okay, so there was a J. Cole interview with Lil Pump. That like he's actually a higher like intellectual. Not saying he's actually like smart, but he's actually not as stupid as he like plays out to be.
For
Yes.
sure.
Yeah. And people are like, oh yeah, dude, this person's really dumb. But think about it. These online people are personalities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's not how they actually act. A lot of people, like even rap music. Rap music's like the prime example of
Exactly.
bullshit.
Everyone's
A lot
fake.
of these rappers are bullshit. A lot of them. Actually, I think most, if I'm going to be honest.
The
It's all
majority.
bullshit. Most of it, all the time. They're just, living the dream. That's it.
For the most part, I know I'm a huge fan of him, Eminem. So there was this one interview on like how he came up with the kind of like Slim Shady character, or like if that is actually how he acts on a day-to-day. He said that is just bullshit if you actually think I act like that on a day-to-day basis. That was just a gimmick, because when you hop into the rap industry or any industry, you need some type of gimmick, some type of thing from your past to like maybe reference upon if you like because for him it was pretending to be like a psychopath, and doing all that, and it really just wasn't him. So he kind of had like I personally take it as he had three personalities. He had Eminem, Marshall Mathers, and Slim Shady. Slim Shady was the psychopath. Eminem was more so of the rap genius. Marshall Mathers was the father. So like those were his, and then there's different artists that have different type of alter egos, things like that. So
100%. There's a reason why people have pseudonyms. If you don't know what a pseudonym is a pen name. It's basically your other name. So there's people like, okay, there's Eminem, and then there's the real person. There's Lil Pump, real person. There's X. Everyone thought, okay, X is a bad person. Look at his music, and then think about what he does. Jasean Froy. Like, there's people. Rest in peace to my boy Ja. But like,
What's
yeah,
up?
there's people. There's reason why people have another name and not their actual name, because they're characters.
And like
Indeed.
if they if their career ends up being ruined, then they can always fall back on
Yeah, like
their
oh
own
hey
life
guys,
before.
I'm a good person. Like Lil Wayne, like okay yeah, his music he's good, you know. He raps about some interesting stuff, and like if you've seen him like talk, like he's an actual intellectual human being,
Yeah,
and
he's been
I
to
like
college.
him. He was like talking
Not
about
the
how
college,
Antifa and Black Lives Matter, like they're like he doesn't want to be a part of that stuff, and I 100% agree with it. I think it's like very interesting to have people like that.
You know, not that he's like the most qualified person to talk about it, but Morgan Freeman also has said that. How he doesn't want to be associated with some of these groups just because it's more divisive than it is, you know.
Honestly, if Morgan Freeman says it, that
It's
means
gotta
it's
be
true.
facts.
Like, listen to that dude. Morgan Freeman is God.
He
Honestly.
is
He's played God, so he's obviously
God.
God.
That's true.
He's played God like a few times. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he has.
I think Morgan Freeman has like one of the most diverse character. Like he does a lot of shit, and Will Smith. Will Smith does a lot of shit. He's played a
Aladdin.
cop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's Aladdin now.
Then there's Jaden Smith. I don't even know what that kid
Jaden
is.
Smith, he's doing really good. Like
He's
his
weird.
albums did good.
I'm
But
proud
like
of him.
I think he's weird. But like yeah, I'm proud of him too. Have you heard
Yeah.
about the stuff he's done in Flint? Jaden
Mhm.
Smith
Oh, a
has
little
done
bit,
the
yeah.
most for Flint than anyone else.
Yeah.
He's
oh yeah.
made
Flint is crazy.
like he's made
Flint
this new thing
sucks.
called the Water Box, and it's 100% free. They like people in Flint can go there, purify their water, and then go. Like
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm really glad him and his sister are like very interested in their community.
They're like they're activists.
What is his sister doing?
His sister does like female
Shit.
stuff. Yeah, that's it. I like Jaden more than Willow.
Yeah.
Willow has a good voice.
I would
Like
not
they
say
can sing
either.
together. But I mean, I feel like Jaden Smith and Willow Smith, like they would be better if they didn't start off like as bad as they did.
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
Willow Smith had like "Wear My Hair Back and Forth" and like that's a shit song.
And then Jaden Smith came out with like Icon, which was an immediate like smash hit. Like as soon as it came out, I know it was later on in his life than Willow, but like, gosh, that one.
Yeah,
Absolutely
you should
was.
hear a lot of Jaden Smith and Willow Smith's song together. They're actually like really good. It's very interesting, and they like speak. Their like family's really smart, so they
I love that
have a
family.
song called
Mhm.
PCH. They're like PCH cruising, and PCH and it can be applied to chemistry, as well as the Pacific Central Highway in California, which is like the main one everyone likes driving down to vibe. But PCH is also what drives the human body in chemistry.
That's interesting.
So they were rapping about
That's a
it,
good,
and
like,
it was
pun.
really interesting. Like I was like, I read the comments and I was like, damn, that's deep.
That's
Like they really like put like two things together there.
it's like a 3D song.
A 3D
You know,
song.
like when you can kind of feel the lyrics like around your face and shit. I don't
3D.
know.
That just reminded me. Have
Virtual
you ever had a
reality
4D
song.
movie? Have
Oh
you
my
ever
gosh,
been to
they're
one?
so weird.
I went to Legoland,
Sounds horrible.
and it was a 4D movie, and oh my god, one of the characters farted and it smelled like shit. And I felt
Wait,
so
they
terrible.
do that, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yo.
and then like they'll spray water on you if the like water shows
Okay,
up on the
yeah.
scene. And I
I'm
was like,
thinking of the right thing.
okay, guys, we're really just doing the most.
I remember when I was younger, I went to Disney, and I got like I went to like you know the like tree, the tree
The
from
big
Disney
tree?
World? Yeah.
The huge one.
So I went in there, and they have like a 4D film. Oh my gosh, I was like 8 at the time. I freaked out. Like I was like so
Thought you were
terrified.
in the movie.
Like no, I
He said, "Bro."
He had an out of body experience.
exactly, bro. It was
I
so
became the raindrop
Had
in
an
Pocahontas.
epiphany.
I am raindrop. I felt myself hit the ground.
Raindrop.
I don't know when it came back to life.
Drop
but
top.
fucking old bitch with a thought top. I don't know.
Thought top.
We
Well,
should
I
make a
was-
rap
I
song.
was thinking about Jaden Smith and Willow Smith. Like, what do you think are like?
I don't know much.
I like people like artists that are good people and their lyrics like actually mean something.
Logic.
NF.
Like utilize it.
Whatever you think of NF, I don't know, but like if you listen to some of his songs, he's making a difference. He's,
Oh yeah, he is.
He's trying to change lives. Like he's, like I know a lot of mainstream artists like aren't like this, but he's really realistic about what he says. He doesn't lie in his lyrics.
And I kind of feel bad for people like that because, like, if you see historically from like artists that rap about something real,
Like real shit, yeah.
in comparison to rappers that
The fake
rap
ones.
about dumb shit. For some reason,
The real
rappers
ones
that
don't
rap
get
about
attention.
dumb shit are more famous than people that rap about real shit.
Yeah.
I compare NF to fucking 6ix9ine. NF
Uh-huh.
doesn't get like barely any attention nowadays, but for some reason, 6ix9ine gets all this attention just because he runs like an idiot, bro. Like, makes no sense. And like, Logic's really good, yeah, but like, people don't even talk about his lyrics that
They're
much.
so slept on. Yeah.
And like, a lot of people say Logic made one of the most important songs in the world, and I think that's kind of true in a way.
I mean, it was only famous for a few months though. That's what sucks.
Unfortunately,
I'm so happy it went mainstream though, because that's something that needs to get
Facts.
talked about more. And also, there was actually a Logic interview recently about his thoughts on like like the Sandy Hook, or not Sandy Hook, the Parkland shooting.
Yeah.
How there's like that aftermath like trauma, and how like later on it can cause like suicide and stuff. He like talked more and more about it and how he might actually like talk about more problems like that in the world.
What do you guys think of like celebrities getting all political and stuff? To me, it's like it has a place as long as it's not like some songs that are really political can get annoying. But I mean, if you want to like tweet about it, obviously they can. I think like that's my view on it. As long as it's not like, I don't know.
If it's
Hard to explain, but
it's like I was saying about the character and then the person. A celebrity needs to separate themselves from their character personality and the person. So in your lyrics, you shouldn't be rapping about fucking killing Trump like some rappers have done.
that's bogus.
Like, how are you can't
OC.
rap about killing our president. He's the most important person in the world right now.
Yeah.
And you are rapping about killing him? Holy shit, the FBI's up your ass. But, and then, okay, rap about your life. Rap about things, like, that affect you. Or, like, okay, rap about some random shit, whatever. Fucking girls or whatever. But don't be that character and then talk about politics, because then you're just pushing yourself onto other people.
Yeah.
Maybe you should make a separate channel or something. Talk about it on a channel. Like,
Yeah.
there's people that have done that. Like, even Steven Crowder's slightly done that. Like, comedian, and he has politics. Separates it. It works nicely.
Like unless it's been part of your character since the beginning, I think it's dangerous for a lot of artists to get political about things. Like Macklemore does that sometimes. Like at first obviously he just rapped, and then he made an album that was really really political.
100% about
It
gay
wasn't.
people.
It
That's
wasn't. It didn't do well. Like it isn't good for the fan base unless it's part of you from the beginning. I think it's a bad move for artists unless they want to unless it's just tweeting. Keep it out of your art unless it's been a part of it for a while or slowly add it in. I don't know.
Yeah. So for my favorite artist, Eminem, he had basically his entire album was dedicated to Trump.
Oh yeah.
There were certain things that I agreed with on it, but like shit, I'm here for that like real Eminem rap shit that talks about like things like stories in his life, things that have impacted him, made him the person he is, and maybe can actually like change other people's views on things, not just talking about how you're gonna fuck up Donald Trump and then also fuck up like Melania. No, you don't do that. He's talked about political stuff before.
Yeah.
I agree, like if you've been doing it since the beginning, but like for the most part he remained neutral throughout all of his raps, and then 2016 came around, 2017, and he just
Lost it.
yeah, I think there's a place like maybe doing like 1 or 2 or 3 songs max, but like if you have I think it was like 16 songs, if 10 of them are relating to politics, like somewhere in there's always relations to politics, and I'm a person who breaks down lyrics quite a bit. There's just so much that he talks about, which I think it's good to talk about, but like in maybe an interview or something.
Yeah, and it's like, so Eminem was absent for a bit. Okay, dope. And then you come back, drop diss tracks, and talk shit about politics.
I thought you were about to say other rappers. I was like,
Okay.
"Shoot."
Sure. That's a little bit awkward because you just came back and you're already bringing your philosophies onto us. That's dope, dude. I don't want to listen to you anymore. Thanks. Goodbye. And I think that's the whole thing. I think Eminem's using his platform to conform more people.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah, I agree with that.
And I'm like, okay, if it's a good message, like something important, I think it should be neutral, not 100% one-sided. Like, that whole thing is one-sided. Everyone knows you can listen to an Eminem song, like name an Eminem song, listen to it. Oh yeah, hey, I think Eminem's a Democrat. And I think he's
Just a bit.
like literally, like you can tell what type of person he is, 100%. Like you can read everything just straight through it. Like his whole political philosophy. He has like a manifesto in his music that you can put together just of politics.
One
He has a
could-
whole book of politics. Like
He
holy
does.
shit.
No, he doesn't.
One could
I'm
say it's a
talking
music
about putting
festo.
his-
I'm stupid.
Yeah.
It's okay.
That's
Music
right.
festo.
Yeah, that was stupid. But if you go through his music, it's a music festo.
Also, so about the whole Eminem thing, are you agreeing with some of the stuff he said? I want to hear some of that.
So for me, so there was a song here. Actually, let me pull up the playlist. I can just hold up. But I do know there was one song called Actually, I'm just gonna pull that.
Eh?
All right. So there was this one thing that's called where is it? Untouchable. So it's basically okay. I don't agree with the song fully. How for the most part white people are untouchable to like police in certain ways and in certain communities. Like it talks about how like there's a lot of targeting. Yes, they are higher crime rate areas, but at the same time, kind of seems like they're more so targeting. So I can get where he's getting at and where a lot of people have those ideas and ideologies of that. Nowhere Fast, for the most part, that is like about like gun control and also other issues with that. How there's like so many things, like for example, how a child can get a hand of like weapons and be able to just like use them at ease. Do you want to say something or?
I mean, when it comes to that, like, it's just gun safety.
That's like responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ownership.
And
Yeah.
I think that's also a problem that black people have.
Oh, for
They
Oh,
really
yeah.
love flaunting guns.
think about like you know how firearms accidents happen and people die.
Mhm.
Like, what percent do you think of that is like black people? I know it sounds weird.
I
but,
think
like,
it's a lot because, dude,
I
shit,
guess like.
I hear so many stories of Chicago from my fucking parents because I was born in Chicago and I've only lived there for 2 years as a child, so I have no experience with it. But they lived there their whole lives, and I'm surprised they're fucking alive. Like Chicago's a
they're veterans. They should get the
Chicago
veterans
is
discount.
almost as worse as fucking California, and it's only a city. Like that's how bad it is. If I were to rank top 5 worst places in America, California, Florida, New York, Wyoming, and Chicago.
Why Wyoming?
Because who the fuck? Wyoming isn't a
What is
state.
Wyoming? Yeah.
What?
It doesn't exist.
What the fuck?
Yo, fucking Montana.
I've never
Wait, no, is it
heard of
Montana?
anything
Dude, Montana has
from
Yellowstone.
Wyoming. Yeah,
That is true. That's the only thing. It
Yo,
has
I
though.
want to go to Yellowstone.
I
That'd be dope.
I can't. The only thing
Panthers.
when I
road
hear
trip.
Wyoming, I only think bison.
My,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think of my German teacher.
Your German teacher, she's
Yeah,
from
he went
Wyoming. Oh,
to Wyoming University,
ooh,
and
Wyoming
apparently it
University.
cost him $5,000 for 4 years. So
What?
Oh
That's
wow,
insane.
that's so fucking cheap.
Yo,
like, if I worked all
Holy
year,
shit.
road
I could
trip,
get
road
that money.
trip.
MATC is like 3,000 a year.
Yeah, and it's insane. It's a 4-year university because no one goes there. They just make it super cheap so that people go there.
That's lit.
It's funny.
Interesting.
At least that was back in the day when he went. I don't know what it is now.
Oh, sad day.
Probably like 20,000 for 4 years, I would guess.
Maybe, yeah.
20,000 for 4.
That's still like
Yeah, that's
extremely low.
cheap.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
God,
Then
college
again,
is big.
Who's gonna hire you
hard.
if you're from Wyoming? They're like, oh, you got into a college with no competition. Nice job.
Okay, so I love how we were talking about like end to get off soft, but now I don't want to end it off soft because college
Jesus.
is fucking pisses me off because okay, here we go. So
Okay,
people are
Marvin.
like, hey, everyone has a right to education. Let's make colleges free.
No.
No.
Okay, think about the word you just said, free. Number one, nothing in the world's free. First off, unless you get free samples from Sam's Club, but you pay for a membership there, so it's not free. And secondly, okay,
Marcus
so
Rewards cards are free.
let's think
Sign up.
about how are
Shameless
teachers
plug.
gonna be paid? You think people are just gonna donate to these colleges to pay for teachers to teach you something that you mostly already know?
I mean, it's taxes usually, but
And like, okay, it's just you need to think about it because there are countries that have free colleges, and it's not really working out very well for them.
Indubitably.
okay. So I don't know. Shoot, what was I gonna say? Oh my god, sorry, I just got really distracted there.
Brain fart boy.
Anyway, oh yeah, what you're saying about like the right to education, a lot of people don't really understand that, at least in America, that only like is for like K through 12.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you have a right to free education up to 12th grade, and then it's like it's on you, cause like that's upper education. That's not everyone gets educated at least the same amount, which is 12th grade. If they choose to do well in it, then they can go on to higher education, which I don't know. I do think that it's good that we have to pay for college, because if it's free, then what are you working for in high school? Like it gives you a purpose to work in high school, and it builds your work ethic if you have to pay for something that you works hard to do for.
Definitely does.
To do for? I don't know what
To
I
do
said.
for. Yes. So
I don't know.
it's been a while, guys.
Yeah, it's been like an
I
hour
feel
and
like
a
this
half, probably.
podcast has like lasted a long time.
And it's only been 3 of us.
It's
Yeah.
honestly, it's been an honor talking to you guys.
Yeah.
This is
This was super political.
very interesting podcast. I like
Politics
this one.
and rap.
I like this one a lot.
Pretty much.
And more.
We have a lot more topics though. Like a lot more to talk about and think about.
Well, you guys can expect a lot more happening in our next podcast where we have more than 3 people here.
Hopefully.
Please. So yeah, thanks for watching.
Tune into the
the
next
only
podcast.
people remaining is Marvin, Reese, and Colton.
It's been that way for a while.
Nathan
Honestly.
tapped out in the first 10 minutes. Dane lost us in the first half.
Half hour probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, so I'm going to Germany in like a week.
Oh, word?
So yeah, for 2 weeks. So I probably won't be on the next one or two. Just an FYI. I'll miss you guys.
Goofy.
Don't talk about gun control without me though, please.
We won't. I'll
Awesome.
we'll refrain.
We'll save it.
Because that's like one of the things I'm really knowledgeable about. And I
I
wanna
would
talk
love
about
to
it.
find someone that disagrees with us. So
Oh, dude,
if
we should
anyone
have someone on the podcast.
if anyone disagrees with some of our views, please hop on. Anyone from MSAN or BSU,
Change my mind.
you guys can come for free.
That would be awesome.
We have snacks.
We don't even pay.
We have
we don't-
snacks and drinks.
know.
We'll pay for you. We'll give you a ride here.
We give you a
You can.
nice,
We
crisp
have
high five.
lodging. You can sleep over if
Free
we
room
don't
and
kill
board.
each other.
If you're not a woman, you can sleep over.
We have boxing
Yes.
gloves.
Sorry.
Yeah,
so you
we
can,
have
like,
a fight club and everything.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
So, yeah,
Reese will
comment
pay you the
if you want to
your
talk
hand on the back and stuff.
and debate, because debating's fun. I take classes for that, and I'm gonna fucking destroy you. Okay, I digress. So it's been an honor talking to you guys. I'm Marvin,
I'm Colton.
I'm Reese.
and we'll talk to you when we can get our rights back from the Black Lives Matter Association that are taking it away from us. Thank you.